Alright, so final call for ballots. I do have the results as of currently, so if we have anybody else. I don't think we're going to have anybody running in the door at the last minute. Alright, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule. So I have the results for our newest board members. So if we could give a round of applause to Jesse Connerly, Dan Ellis, and Kevin Newman. So thank you, and thank you for everyone who ran. That was a fantastic group of candidates. So, and I wanted to say we have two outgoing board members. So Kyle and Grant. You guys, your work. Grant has previously served on the board, as you all know, and Kyle has been doing amazing work for us. He revamped the newsletter, so thank you so much for both of your hard work, and hope to see you volunteer in the future. So thanks, guys. Alright, so we're going to open the floor to the membership, so if I could have Kyle, Grant, Dan, and Sarah join me up here, and we are going to address any questions from the membership for now. So any questions? Anybody want to discuss anything? Andy? Yeah, this is something I'm really excited about too. Yeah, let's move the podium.
Oh, I can do that.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Just trying to look around. Okay, so the engagement committee is something that we've been talking about for a while. The idea is that right now it's been on the owners of the board to plan all the social events and everything. And I was kind of inspired in part by the project from you and Megan to kind of want to elicit more from the membership to build ourselves up. So I mentioned it, and then everyone else on the board was like, yeah, this is something we kind of wanted to do for a while. So like planning, Tiffany mentioned that when she planned Zombie Jesus a few years back, she had like decorations, and she had like a giant cross, and all sound awesome. And oftentimes we find ourselves unable to find the time to be able to put that kind of detail into, say, an event. And it would be amazing if we could have a committee that plans, like, takes the planning part of the social events and makes it their own, and build something around that. And then also to be able to plan their own projects, or together as a committee lift up different projects for the community. So it is an engagement committee. It's people from the community who don't necessarily have the time to serve as a board member, but to give back and to reach out. So, did I miss anything? Does that about cover it?
Yeah, that covers it.
Yeah? Yeah, no, thank you. That's what I'm excited about. Anybody else?
More questions? I don't know, I kind of let it go out a bit.
You want the mic?
Sure. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I let it grow out, and then when it gets a little scraggly on the bottom, I just trim it flat. I'm actually thinking of doing some kind of fundraiser around it, possibly like the summer barbecue. I'm imagining like 3 jars, like shave it, leave it, dye it, and whichever one collects the most money, that will be the thing that happens. That would be, yeah, that's a great idea, because then we could do, like you would write your name on whatever you put in there, and then we count the money for each thing, and then we do a drawing to see who gets to pick, if it's dyed, then you get to pick the color. If it's shaved, you get to do the shaving kind of thing. Yeah. We've not set a date for it yet. The thing that we had in Provo a couple of years ago was a separate thing. It was just a southern part of the valley, or
yeah, I mean it was a South Valley bar. It was a barbecue, but it was separate. It was separate from our family activities barbecue. So yeah, that year we had two barbecues, and we have talked about we want to engage more down south, and we'd like to engage more up north. It's just a matter of manpower and time to build those events and finding venues. And it really helps to have somebody local who can kind of help coordinate that, because we don't, most of us being from the valley, we don't necessarily know the terrain as well, and can coordinate those things as well as a local could. So.
There was a question back here.
Okay.
I'm not aware of how my laws are but I was wondering, for instance, I am an accountant. That was something where I would like to provide a volunteer to say, just handle the membership. I know that there was mention, and I know when I came my duties, it was probably 3 or 4 months before I heard from anyone acknowledging that I made those decisions. And that's just an example, but any of us who have a skill set like that, is it possible with bylaws written for us to just have a little chunk of it like that, not a decision, just
I would say there's nothing in the bylaws that doesn't allow it. We do have a specific position of a treasurer, whose primary responsibility is things like that. And unfortunately, for a few months there, the record keeping wasn't really existing at all. And we've been trying to catch up on that.
Tracy's been doing a lot to help us.
Yeah, and Tracy's been helping me catch, as far as the membership goes, catch up on the membership.
That's the reason that you did eventually get something, was because the person who was in charge of that didn't, and they're no longer on the board. And Tracy came in and started going through and just hitting everyone, making sure that we got in touch with everyone who renewed, who needed to renew, what was going on with their membership. So Tracy's done a ton of work, and it's been invaluable to help us. It's been awesome.
If you know anyone who takes part in an event in the last 12 months, have them send us an email,
Please.
please.
Like that fell on some other another person who's no longer on the board as well. There was missing papers and stuff like that. So
I can track everything through PayPal on the website, but transactions that happen at events are more difficult.
then that's something we have been working on. At Pride, for instance, we tried to. I just want to address that a little bit. So at Pride, we started doing our very best to track cash transactions on the same app that we could run cards through, PayPal, something or other. And so we didn't get all of them, but it was much better record keeping for us to be able to see how much money cash was coming in and what was being bought with cash. And so that's something we're taking an effort to do is account for cash as well.
But to your more direct point, I'm not sure how that would work. I mean, we have some new accounting systems I set up to track things and reconcile and categorize things.
Right.
Exactly how that would work out, I mean, having professional accounting services at our disposal probably be nice. I just, off the top of my head, I don't know exactly how that would be coordinated, but I'd say get in touch with us.
Yeah.
And whoever the new treasurer is, maybe something can be coordinated, to get that assistance.
Yeah. Yeah,
Any other?
volunteers are, and we may need that volunteers help as well. So.
Yeah, hi.
If you want to be volunteer,
Are you talking about like
message to a board,
the engagement?
or just say agree with me,
Yeah,
Are you talking
first-
about the engagement committee?
or just anything you guys want.
First and foremost, send an email to just the board email address. That would be the best starting point.
And if you have something specific in mind, that would be awesome as well. If you want to organize another event, if you want to have a dinner event or a luncheon somewhere, so, if you've got something specific in mind, that would be great also. But of course, yeah, just general help with anything is also welcome.
There are a lot of people, they don't have the time, they don't have the board, because they don't have the time.
Right.
And probably don't want to deal with
Yeah.
everything, that they want to do.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have the time they won't run for the board because they don't have that much time to contribute to do all of the things, but they would still like to do some of the things or to help with the occasional things. So yeah, absolutely. Just
And that would be
let
a
us know.
great.
We'd welcome that a whole lot.
That would be great to join the engagement committee as well, because that's going to be a lot less time on your plate, but it would be collaborative as well. So.
Yeah, hi.
I have the board stop promoting events on Utah Atheists and potentially other sites, I'm not sure. I didn't know Utah Atheists.
What was the question again?
I have the board stop promoting events on Utah Atheists.
The Facebook group, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Primarily,
2,600 potential members.
primarily we stopped posting our events there because we want to make sure that we're driving traffic to our page. I mean, it's very inefficient. If we start posting things all over the place, then it becomes a very inefficient process, right? So if we post things to our page primarily, that's where people know to get more information from us. If we start posting them in every single group everywhere, then it becomes a scattershot thing where, oh, well, you didn't post in this group, and that's where I always go to look. If we concentrate our efforts and put them all in one location, then people know to go and look there for it. They're not going to look in one particular group versus another. Secondarily is that when we, not everybody in that group is a member of Atheists of Utah, nor do they want to.
There's a scant percentage
Yeah, there's like 5%.
Around 5%.
Yeah, there's like 5% of the people in that group are members of Atheists of Utah. So, I mean, you're talking maybe 60, 70 people tops at the most in that group. Out of 3,600 people,
I reached the 95%.
by driving traffic to our page and making that the location.
Well, we do, I have seen us post messages from time to time saying, please go, if you want to know what Atheists of Utah is up to, please go to our page and check out our events. So rather than having the event in the page and the event in the group and the event in sauna and the event over here and all over the place, we're posting messages saying, hey, come to our page and check out our events. So we do reach out in that way to let those other 95% know.
You're not reaching out.
Why would it, so if you're posting everything to the Atheists of Utah Facebook page, why would it, hurt people going there to look for things if they want it,
Going to the page?
So if people are able to see, a very concise, specific list of events that are going on at the Facebook page, why would it hurt that to be posting links to those events in the
Well, like I said, we do. We have been posting messages in the group and in sauna and in various other groups saying, come to, if you want to see what Atheists of Utah is up to, come to the Atheists of Utah events page.
It becomes really scattered and hard to track where we are sharing events and who we're reaching out to. I mean, everyone has their preferred method of us communicating, but the thing is that we can't meet all of those demands. So if we're consistently putting it out in our Facebook, our website, newsletter, and meetups, and if we're on our Facebook, every time we're going from our Facebook, it goes to our Twitter as well. So we don't even have to worry about getting out there. And if we're directing people to our pages and having people come there, it makes our jobs a lot easier to make sure that, like, if we need to boost a post, if we need to up it, we can track that a lot easier. As we start spreading that more out and out, and yes, even into the Utah Atheists or Heathens of the West or whatever, we are missing steps, and we're missing places we can share to, and it's only going to get more and more chaotic.
And it builds
something and say, here it is.
No, the other main problem with doing that is that it, like I said, it builds in inefficiency, because if we post even a link to an event somewhere, say we create an event on the Atheists of Utah Facebook page, right? And then we post that in the Utah Atheist group, and we post it in Sauna, we post it in Heathens of the West, we post it in a bunch of different atheist groups, and people start asking us questions in there, then that makes it that every board member has to be informed of everywhere that's been posted and the questions there. They've got to try to track that. They've got to have an account in that group. They're answering questions all over the place instead of one central location where everybody can see all of the questions that have been asked about it. Everybody can see all the answers that have been provided. It's a central location for everybody to get all of the information that they want.
People have questions, here's the information. I've done that. Other people have done that.
Awesome, thank you.
So maybe the solution there would just be to when a board member is asked a question in one of those other places on one of those other links, then they can say, please ask this question at the
But then we still have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
then
I'm saying,
the end result is the same. We're
increasing the
directing.
exposure that people have to
It's bad.
these events happening, right? So that people in other places who aren't.
Well, why don't
didn't
you?
like
You're
being
free
taught
to. You guys are free to share it. You're free to share the events wherever you want, whatever group you participate in, and that's a great way for us to. That's another way membership and being a member helps. But
That's a great way that you can help us.
Yeah, but the reality is that we can't constantly be reaching out to everyone's preferred aggregate. Like we have, we're trying to consolidate it for the board's work, and we are not constantly available on all those other pages. But if you want to be a part of engaging more people, that's awesome. And as we've said multiple times today, our organization is nothing without our membership. We are working so hard. I've shown people like our agendas before. They're like, holy hell, how long are your board meetings? Like, it's a lot of work, and we're proud to do it. We're happy to do it. But every time we add another step and another place that we're trying to reach out, we get lost in the weeds, and we no longer can put the focus where we need to.
But if you guys want to share, if you want to share events from the page to whatever group, that would be awesome. That would help us a whole lot.
You can invite your friends.
Absolutely.
Even go to the event itself and on the event and
Tiffany's gotten herself in Facebook jail for doing that. Yeah, Tiffany, she'll share it all the time. So, and everyone is welcome to do that.
Everybody, especially right now, all the new members of that group, we've asked the admins a couple of times to remind people to go to the Facebook page, to subscribe to events for those. As long as you've liked the page, as long as you have subscribed to the events, everybody is going to get those notifications. That's the way Facebook sets up its algorithms. And everybody that likes the post or chooses to attend it, it shares and expands that. But if that happens in a private group, that interaction doesn't take place.
Yeah, that gets
Facebook
lost.
does not capture that data.
Right.
So we can't even see how big the reach is for this post.
So say you do it both on your personal page and in the group.
If you want to post it in the group, you can post it in the group. Everybody can. There's no, but we're not going to know how many people are seeing it, how many people are sharing it, how many people are liking it. We would have to go and track it down every single time to even get that information.
Any other questions for us? We've still got like
Seriously, we got
half
like,
hour before they start trying to roust us out of here, but it is pretty warm.
Yes.
But I don't think I can't think of just many coffee shops that can hold 30 to 50 people.
That's been the struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A place big enough, what's like plan B, so do we meet at a restaurant, a house?
I think
One thing we've been looking at is maybe moving, because I mean, there are locations, one of the problems is that a lot of the locations aren't open that late.
Right.
So we've kind of floated the idea of maybe moving it to a different night or to the weekend or something like that. If we
Right.
moved it to a weekend and afternoon thing, that opens up a whole lot of coffee shops that close down at 6 or 7 on a weeknight.
Right. The Ogden coffee chat happens in the early afternoon at 1 o'clock, and that's pretty well attended. There are a lot of regular people that come to that one. The space is pretty good. It's decent. It's in downtown Ogden, and I know a lot of people aren't crazy about that. But yeah, we've also talked about moving the time if we can't find a venue. But yeah, there are a lot of options and a lot of things that have been and still are being explored for finding a good fit.
One thing I looked into,
Yeah.
I inquired at a couple, and I'm semi-hopeful about this, but finding a small privately owned coffee shop where the owner would be interested in staying open late, that maybe closes at 6 or 7. But, if we can offer a certain number of customers once a week, they might be willing to stay open until 9, 1 day a week.
We had a shop that was interested in doing that, but they didn't have space for any more than like 10 people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
So, yeah.
So
we've found there's been some really great places, like some wonderful businesses that are supportive of us, but yeah, they don't have the space or they don't have the parking and so it has been a bit of a project, but it is still something that we're keeping an open mind to. And if you find a place that please let us
Yeah, if you know of a
Yeah.
Put
place.
your eyes out there. Like we only have two eyes each. So
there are a lot of coffee shops out there.
Any other questions?
Anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Current plans for like firesides that we had last year with the cost of that, maintenance, with the event you probably just recently made, you're looking for like discussions, how to build a discussion, what to bring in, maybe some of it's here, and then before that, maybe that talking about both secular.
Oh, Nick Fish.
Yeah.
That was a great event too. I love that one. That was a really great one.
Is there any other events that
Well, the Sunday brunch, I mean, that would be
Yeah,
something we
yeah.
do.
We've talked about doing that
Sunday
at the Sunday brunch, but I mean, even just apart from the Sunday brunch,
Not the movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
trying to get other people in
Yeah.
here.
And we've looked at it and talked about finding good ways to bring in speakers.
Or let's do our
So-
two piecemeal, is there a way we can do like a smaller version of the American Atheist Convention, like get a hotel ballroom or something like that, just get some space.
Hey, we haven't got plans out yet. Give us a minute to give us a minute to put together a proposal. All right.
I've actually talked to
like that, yeah.
well, Tracy and I have talked
So
to
it's easier to fly everybody in at one time.
yeah. Well, Tracy, like I was saying, Tracy and I have talked to a couple people who have organized smaller conventions, and have kind of floated the idea of having them give us a bunch of pointers on how they do it, who they work with, basically having a little convention connection with them, just to give us some information on, how do you get hotels to give you discounted rates? How do you book speakers? How do you pay them? How much do you pay them? How do you decide who to bring in and what your budget is based on we're total noobs in that area, right? We have no idea. So thankfully we do know some people who are organizers of other events who can help us out and give us some tips there. It's just a question of their time being available, our time being available, booking it all out. And you have to plan shit like that at least a year in advance.
Yeah.
I mean, if we wanted something to happen next summer, we should start working on it tomorrow.
And I mean, we have reached out to Sunday Assembly, which is just recently getting started here, and they're all on board as part of the secular community to combine events. In fact, we're going to be just donating to their big pie and beer day fundraiser that they're doing for themselves. So there's going to be Atheists of Utah swag and a pie that I am buying, not making, because nobody wants a pie made by me. That's not a thing anybody wants. But we're going to partner with them. Dan has connections with the new Satanic Temple chapter. So we have goals of wanting to combine our secular community for certain events and reaching out and building up each other. So because there's a growing and robust secular community here recently, and everyone's pretty excited. And yes, that's pretty cool.
I have a question. Why does Lily Ann keep winning on the liver?
That is a good question. God's
She's
on
a
our
witch.
side.
You know, some organizations, they banned the previous winner from competing for that prize again.
Oh.
I know because I won the liver at a Democratic Party and they didn't let me enter the next year because I hadn't finished it all. Half of it is in Lily Ann's closet.
We'll consider a bylaw change in regard to the bucket of booze.
Why Lillian has won the Bucket of Boost in two different events. So
This last year.
yeah, this in the last year. So she won it at Halloween. Yeah, right. Oh, and then she won it just now at the summer solstice, and that was a hell of a bucket. And every time my boyfriend doesn't win, he's like, no. I've seen him gone to walk out of a conversation to go look at it multiple times. Like,
Just admiring the bucket of booze.
yeah, he just admires the bucket of booze.
Anything else?
Is that cocktail on you?
Is that almost?
Some of us were talking about going and
Past
something
11.
that'd be fun. Yeah.
You were gonna ask?
We mentioned Provo Pride. Are we going to have like a sign making party beforehand, or are we doing any events before the Pride, or are we just showing up volunteers?
Well, they don't do a parade.
No, they don't.
So yeah, I don't think we've done sign making for Provo or Ogden Pride in the past. We did? Oh, we did. Yeah, because the sign making is for the parade.
No, but I can see what you mean, having maybe like having them at the booth. Like a community engagement before in that area. Yeah. I think it's a great idea. We've got a lot of
Hey,
We're
an
also-
engagement committee would be really helpful right now.
We've got a lot of people interested in this because of the Pride.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fantastic. We are going to be at Provo Pride. We're going to be at Ogden. It's
Yeah,
cool.
we're signed up for Ogden Pride.
We support the gays, and we will continue to do so. Right? No, we love all the Pride festivals. They're really cool. So I think that's a great idea.
Reciprocation.
Get with us. Thanks. It is so hot.
Anything else?
Anything else? Anyone?
Anyone? Bueller?
Damn it.
Well, thank you all very much for coming out.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry the room's been so hot.